What's in a name? It's legacy, it's history, it's respect. And this season, names become legend. This is passion, this is power, this is our culture. This is Newcastle, Bristol, Caledonia, Sheffield, Plymouth, London, Manchester, Surrey, Cheshire, Leicester. This is basketball. So know our passion, our power, our culture. Know our name.
Welcome to the British Basketball League. Teams up and down the country compete against each other to be crowned British Basketball League champions. We're here to break it down for you, so let's get to it. Each team can have 5 players on the court at any one time, but can sub players on and off throughout the match. Players can shoot for 2 points by attempting a shot from within the 3-point line, or go for 3 points by shooting outside the 3-point line. Free throws are worth 1 point each, and these are shot from the free throw line. Each basketball game is made up of 4 10-minute quarters and can never end in a draw. If the teams are equal on points at the final whistle, we go to overtime. Any fouls or violation of the rules results in possession of the ball being turned over to the opposing team. The attacking team has 24 seconds to take a shot, otherwise a shot clock violation will occur. Once the offensive team crosses the center court line, they cannot go back into their own half. Doing so will result in a backcourt violation. To move the ball around the court, players can pass or dribble. And if a player stops dribbling, they can't just start up again. Doing so would result in a double dribble violation. Traveling is another violation that could see your team turn over possession. This happens when players move with the ball but without dribbling. The only exceptions to this are pivoting with the ball upon possession or taking 2 steps after dribbling. Now lace up your sneakers, take to the court, or come join us in the crowd. This is the British Basketball League. Know our name.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Morningside Arena in Leicester. We have first versus second. It's the Leicester Riders and the London Lions going head-to-head for the top spot in the British Basketball League. Delighted to have you alongside us. I'm Daniel Routledge, and I am joined by former Leicester Rider Anthony Rowe. Anthony, this is the sort of game we all get excited for. It's that Christmas break game, so that it's packed in the stands. 2 best teams in the league going head-to-head. Promises to be a cracker.
Well, it's a prime-time date with 2 prime-time teams, first versus second, and a little preview for us as well of the BBL Cup final that'll be fast approaching in January. I think, these guys have played each other already this year, but that was way back in September. So much has happened on both teams since then, so we're none the wiser really who has the advantage.
And do you think the cup final plays in at all, or is it all about the business of the league here today?
I think it's the business at hand, and that's the league, isn't it? It's another month away with the BBL Cup final, but I think it's one of those ones after the game is, are there any, battle wounds left from this initial fixture? But it's going to be one game at a time, but what an opportunity here for both of these clubs now to stamp their authority in league play.
Well, let's get the views of the coaches. Mark Ellis caught up with Ryan Schmidt earlier on.
So, happy holidays, Coach Smith. Good to see you here in Leicester. Leicester haven't lost on this floor for nearly 12 months. How much of would it be a statement win for you guys, and what would it say about the league and league championship if you were to be successful tonight?
Yeah, first of all, that's a heck of a stat. It's impressive. And obviously these guys are, they're the champions for a reason. Rob does an unbelievable job. Every time you watch the film, they're extremely well coached and disciplined, and play as a team. So it's fine joy watching them as we prepare for them. But, to your point, it'll be a really, really big win for us. Right now we're kind of dealing with the injury and flu bug a little bit. So we're a little low on numbers. But, anytime you can pick up a win on another team's home court, yet alone the defending champions, it's always going to be a big statement win.
And it feels like it's first versus second in the league. It feels like there's a nice rivalry developing. Does it say anything about less than 4 weeks to go to the BBL Cup? Do you think it's any indication to be thinking about the BBL Cup?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously with it being a month away, that's quite a while. Both teams play a lot of games before then. But anytime you get a chance to measure yourself up against the opponent and kind of see where our weaknesses are, where their weaknesses are that maybe we can exploit. That's the fun part from a coaching standpoint, diving into tactics a little bit. But again, being a month away, there's a lot that can change. Hopefully we have some healthier bodies and we can be a little bit more at full strength. But yeah, you can take a lot away from it still.
So difficult time to prepare your team at this time of the year. What's been the focus that you have to do well to be successful?
I think we just got to continue to play well as a team on both ends. And I know that sounds cliche, but for us, that's where we've had success. When we defend at a high level, it always gives us a chance to be in every single game, both domestically and Euro Cup. And then offensively, I like a lot of things we're doing. Again, we can kind of get our legs back underneath us. We had a tough stretch there for a couple weeks, but it was nice to have a couple days off, over the holidays. But again, when the ball moves for us and we get to multiple actions and the guys are sharing the success on the offensive end, that's where I think we're the most dangerous.
Okay, best of luck tonight, Coach, and thank you for your time.
All right, thank you, guys. Happy holidays.
He touched a little bit there on his team's defence. Very important in this building to defend the three-point line against the Leicester Riders.
Well, I've been saying it all along, all season. This London Lions team are as good as their defence. We've seen it in domestic play. We've seen it in European play. When those guys are firing defensively, it ignites their offence, and they're more unified as a group. They allow 74 points a game, which is only second to Sheffield Sharks in the league. But the chink in the armour is defending the three-point line. They've done it, not great in European play, and now they're coming up against a Leicester Riders team who have the best three-point shooting percentage in the league at 38%.
Well, we've heard from Coach Schmidt. Let's get the view from his opposing number. Mark caught up with Rob Paternoster.
So, happy holidays, Coach. You're on a nice win now, 11 out of 12. I think your running streak that you're currently on. Last two games have been quite emotional. How do you keep the team locked in and focused with this another emotional game for tonight?
Yeah, we'll see. Obviously we had a day off or so and came back on the 26th yesterday and, had to play a lot to get that Christmas out of us. It's always a tricky one to know where your team is after a holiday like that. But I guess it's the same for both teams.
Absolutely. Although we're still in December, how much do you think tonight's results will go along to deciding the league championship, or is it still too early?
Well, it's pretty early, no question about it. I mean, you look at it, there's still a long, long way to go. But obviously, this is the team to beat. Everybody knows that. They have the least losses in the league right now, best winning percentage. So I think, you're going to have to beat them. I think that if you're going to want to finish ahead of them, you'll have to win at some point. We played them once already this year and lost. So, yeah, of course, that, it's an important game. But there's so long to go, so many twists and turns ahead.
So what's been the main focus of preparation for tonight's game, Coach?
Conditioning, really, just to make sure everybody's still in good condition coming back after the holidays. I think we didn't really get a long time to prepare for this team, a team that you probably need a long time to prepare for. But it's obviously going to be important for us to have some good offense. If we play good offense, our defense is better. They're the best defense in the league statistically, so that's going to be a real challenge. And then keeping them off the glass. They're so long and athletic, the biggest team in the league. So, we had a lot of work to do today in order to get a result.
So thanks for your comments tonight, Coach, and best of luck.
Thank you.
Well, the two teams just being sent to the benches ahead of team introductions here at the Morningside Arena. And Rob Paternoster said there, if you want to finish ahead of London, you're probably going to have to beat them in the head-to-head because not too many teams are actually going to beat this Lions team this year. Riders have already lost once, so this is almost a must-win if the Riders are thinking of finishing above London in this league table.
I think so, and the one loss that they picked up against Lions was, of course, away, down in the capital. So, this is a more so of a must-win in terms of the race for the title for the Leicester Riders playing at home here now.
Well, the crowd still coming in here at the Morningside Arena. They had to put on some extra tickets, standing tickets up in the mezzanine to fit everybody who wanted to come and see this game, and they've got a little bit of entertainment before we get underway. Smokey Coco taken to the court and going to give us a little performance before introducing the Riders players. So let's have a listen to this. that is the Riders' introduction there by Smokey Coco of The Voice fame. And we can get concentrated now on the action 3 minutes away from tip-off here in the Morningside Arena. And the rosters for the Riders, very interesting. They're back to full strength. Derek Thornton, who missed out on Friday night through illness, back in the lineup, and Riders have everybody. Rob Paternostro said to me before the game, they practiced yesterday. It's the first time everybody has practiced since the beginning of the season.
Yeah, it's been one of those ones, if it's illness or injury, the Leicester Riders have been low on bodies, but they found a way to win. Of the last 5, they've only lost once, and they've been, had some big games thrown in the mix there with semi-final cup games. Really interesting to see how Kimball McKenzie, he's been someone who's carried the load. He's been handling that point guard position while his team continues to pick up wins. But with Derek Thornton being thrust into the lineup now, see how much he takes hold of that responsibility.
And Coach Schmidt has had to juggle his roster a little bit with injuries and illnesses in the camp as well. No Obi Soko, no Tomislav Zubcic tonight. Mia Oni is still out for them as well. Aaron Best is out of the rotation at the moment with the registration issue. So they're a little, still great talent on that side of the board, but they're a little shorter than they usually are. Luke Nelson, though, is back for them, and he's key. Yeah,
that's good news for them. Having Luke Nelson back in, who's been out for a couple of weeks now, it's certainly a quality over quantity for them. Usually you look at London Lions roster and it barely fits on the TV screen here. They do look thin visually, but Dan, there's some quality in there. There's abundance of quality in there, and they just have to figure out units now that can work against this very tough defensive Leicester Riders team.
Well, that will be the thing, as you see the crowd filling up nicely. It's, I'm sure, going to be a good atmosphere, and they'll need that crowd behind them, this Leicester Riders team, if they're to keep this home win streak going. 23 consecutive home wins for the Leicester Riders. That ties the club record that you set back in 2012, 2013. 24 is going to be the hardest of them all to get.
I think so. It's only, it's incredible to have a long longevity of games like that anyway. You're going to come up across the calibre of London Lions sooner or later. But I think it's absolutely imperative that this Leicester Riders team starts strong. We've already had a top-of-the-table clash between Lions and Flyers. Flyers weren't focused from the get-go, and that ultimately cost them the game. They were chasing the game from the get-go. So Leicester Riders, I think, for the reason of setting doubt in the London Lions' mind, but also for this packed-out arena as well, you'd want the crowd to get engaged and you want them to be involved early, and that's to make sure you're in the ball game in that first quarter.
Well, they don't want to do what happened at the football yesterday and concede after a minute, that's for sure. They want to do a little better start than that as the two teams head towards the benches for their final discussions between them and their coaches. The Leicester Riders starting 5 is what we've become used to seeing in recent weeks. Derek Thornton, Mark Loving, Patrick Whelan, Zach Jackson, and Darian Nelson-Henry. The interesting one is at the other end of the floor. The London Lions starting 5 is Josh Ward-Hibbett, the former Rider, in for the start of the game alongside Taylor, Decker, Nelson, and Kufos. And Ward-Hibbett's only started one game this season. This is his second league start of the season.
Well, it's great to see the British guy forcing his way into the starting 5. He's been plagued by injuries last year. We showed glimpses of his talent this year. And I think he's dangerous. He always seems to have a really good game against his former team. It's natural as well. Me, as a former player, I always remember having that extra incentive playing the teams that you've previously played for. And Josh Ward-Hibbett's a competitor, if nothing else, and he's going to want to spoil the party in the Morningside Arena today.
Well, it certainly changes the look of their lineup, because normally they would have Zubcic in recent weeks in that starting, and he's obviously a completely different player to Tommy Zubcic. But there's Jordan Taylor just sorting out a little vest on underneath, and the referee's not happy with that, so he's had to take that off and go back to his normal vest. Still got time to fist bump the referee that made him change, and the Riders making their way out onto court. And we're just going to have a little pause for a moment in memory of a long-serving volunteer of the Leicester Riders, Tim Greenfield, who, if you ever went to a game at John Sanford, he would have greeted you at the front, ripped your ticket, and sadly passed away in the last few days. So the Riders are going to take a few moments to remember the life of Tim.
Those that can stand, please do, as we clap 24 seconds for Tim Greenfield.
Well, nobody escaped the wit of Tim on the way in the door. Rest in peace to him. And we will now transition into the game. It's first versus second. There's not too many times the Riders have entered a game as the underdog, but they were 4.5-point underdogs this morning against this all-conquering London Lions team. And it is the Lions who start off with Kufos rolling to the basket. Taylor with a nice pass.
Jordan Taylor, an experienced point guard, really good in that pick and roll, and he's just demonstrated to us all. Perfect pass inside for Kufos for the easy finish.
Whelan driving hard to the hole. Not quite, but Nelson Henry gets the rebound, and Decker is called for the foul. He can't believe it. He thought he got all ball, but the referee will send Nelson Henry to the line for two.
Wow, very animated reaction from Sam Decker, and it's hard to see. That was a pretty fast sequence of events, and I think Sam...
I could see why he was complaining about that, put it that way. Nelson Henry gets the first point on the board for the Leicester Riders.
But that penetration is good from Patrick Whelan. He didn't convert the play, but what it does is the Kufos, the 7-footer, is challenging that, which takes him out of the play, and Nelson Henry's able to get the offensive rebound and go back up.
And it is the Riders captain who gets the first points on the board for his team. Here is Taylor, recent signing, having started the year for Cluj in Romania. Josh Ward-Hibbert off the mark for three. Little stop and go from Thornton, getting to the finger roll, didn't quite have enough on it.
Well, that's what he's known for, is attacking the rim. He's usually really good in and around there. He'd want that opportunity back again.
Nelson for three, knocks it down.
That's such a good sign for a player that's coming off of injury. Those 2 or 3 weeks he's out, your confidence is relatively wavering because you haven't been playing, but that's a good sign for him and all London Lion fans at home watching.
Whelan again turning the corner, driving hard, and he takes the foul from Kufos and will shoot two.
Patrick Whelan, majority of time when he touches the ball, things turn to gold. Again, he's attacking the defense. And again, at Kufos, who challenges the shot and is called for the foul now. Patrick Whelan has been that guy for the Riders this year. 16 points a game for him, along with his success. Been called up for the GB national team. And, of course, performing for them on that national level as well.
He's also an 81.5% free throw shooter, so no surprise to see both of those go down. Here's Kufos. On to Decker. Decker fighting his way into the key. Out to Ward-Hibbert, giving the three, and he makes them pay.
Josh Ward-Hibbert, he has had the most repetitions shooting in this building out of anyone in a white jersey, and he makes them pay there with that corner three ball.
Here's Jackson. Loving has the size over Taylor. But Taylor has the quick hands. That'll stay with Leicester, but only 3 on the shot clock.
Really good hands from Jordan Taylor there. And there's the three before from Josh Ward-Hibbert. Way too open. Had a lot of time to think about that one, but he knocked it down.
It's into Nelson Henry, who has to heave up the three. And, well, hitting the iron was about as good as they could hope for there.
Good shot clock recognition.
Oh, stolen away by Jackson. Decker thought it came off his foot. Referee was happy. Ward Hibbett did a good job there.
Excellent job. Good body positioning, stayed strong.
Decker throws up the alley-oop. It's a little high for Ward Hibbett to pull in, and it'll be a Leicester ball.
You'd want that to be reversed, wouldn't you? You'd want Josh Ward Hibbett in the open floor there, throwing it up to Sam Decker.
What you'd want is Josh Sharma running the floor and throwing it up to him. That's what you'd really want. That's option one if you're throwing an alley-oop.
Yeah, he's something else, isn't he? Josh Sharma, 7 foot, athletic.
Loving with a nice 19-foot jump shot.
Oh, talking about another player who's nice is Mark Lovin. He's high on confidence. He's been a offensive production for the Riders this year has been superb.
Foul called against Whelan, the first foul against him. Here's Loving, as you say, very comfortable mid-range jump shooter. He's even at the long end of mid-range. Decker trying to get it in. Whelan stole it away and ends up in the front row. It'll be a sideline ball again for the Lions.
Well, don't turn it over, but I like those plays. I like those aggressive denials. Again, it's sending a message to London that nothing's going to come easy.
Decker driving in under pressure. Tip down to Thornton. London have men back. Whelan goes past them all the way to the rim for two.
He's done such a good job of going to the basket already. 3 minutes of play. Everything he's done has been positive and going towards the rim. This time uses the pump fake, gets Nelson to bite and finds a trip all the way to the rim.
Taylor down to Kufos, but knocked away by Nelson Henry.
And this will be interesting for Nelson Henry as well. It's very not often we often say he's undersized, but he's going against 7 foot Costa Kufos and Nelson Henry standing at 6'11". He's given up an inch or two there.
Well, the Lions bench thought there might have been a foul in there. The referee's giving a little bit of chatter, but not too much. Taylor almost loses it. Taylor turning the corner, hooks one off the glass. Kufos trying to keep it alive. London get it back. Here's Nelson. Kicks out. Decker in the corner for three. Sam Decker all string.
Wow, first shot for the three-point line Sam Decker's had, and he converts. Good patience there from London, who almost turned the ball over. The movement was good enough, and they trusted each other, and Sam Decker finishes the play.
It just looks a bit static at the minute for Leicester, like they're not quite sure what's happening. They're running out of time, is what's happening. And a bad shot at the end of it. You don't see that too often.
No, you could tell there was no real fluidity to the offense.
Well, it's almost like it was a new play that they didn't all remember. Here's Kufos looking to back down to the hook. Oh, great play from Decker to tip that in.
Good activity from Sam Decker. Doesn't stay still, does he? Could have easily stayed in the corner there looking for that three, complaining that he didn't get the ball, but he doesn't. Good cut, nice offensive rebound, put back.
Thornton driving hard to the finger roll, great finish.
That's a beautiful take from Derek Thornton, and this is where Costa Kufos has the early foul. He doesn't want to pick up another one.
Nelson, well, Thornton was slow to his feet, and as a result, the Leicester defense were reacting, and the man they lost was Luke Nelson.
And that's a guy you do not want to lose. 2 threes for him already this evening. 6 points personal.
Jackson trying to get it back, missing everything. Well, thrown towards Kufos, but Nelson Henry kind of pulled the chair there and the big man went down.
Well, Luke Nelson knows that it was his error. That's a really difficult pass at the top there. You want to swing the basketball, get that nice 45-degree angle, then input the ball in the post there.
First substitution for either team in the ball game. You don't often get past the 5-minute mark with no subs made. Kimball McKenzie in. I think that's the sign of respect from the two coaches. McKenzie turning the corner. Lovin trying to go to work to the step away. Good challenge from Decker. Ward Hibbett with the rebound.
Really good challenge. That's a good matchup, Decker and Mark Lovin. Very similar in size and stature.
Koufos rolling to the basket. He's fouled. He'll go through the contact. And one for Costa Koufos.
He's just too good in there. He's too big. He's too strong. That's a good post entry there from this point guard Taylor, who'll get his assist. And Costa Koufos, as efficient as they come.
Well, Koufos going to the line. He'll have a different matchup next time down the floor because Aaron Menzies is in to the game. And you said it's not often Nelson Henry is the smaller guy in his matchup. Even rarer that Koufos is, but he will be in this one.
It's a big opportunity for Aaron Menzies to put his stamp on the game. We saw the game on Friday against Manchester. He's always guarded the smaller player and get penalised at times from the officials because of his size and strength. But now he's going to go up against Costa Koufos, 7'1", and Menzies 7'3". You got two big guys going at it down low.
Huban also into the game for London, knocked away from Menzies. Here comes Nelson. Back out to Ward Hibbert. And Koufos wants to have a go at the big man. Goes right at him, but forced to kick out. Taylor, though, driving to the basket. I think that came off Loving last and will stay with London. It'll be 4 seconds on the shot clock.
Good defense there from Menzies. Didn't bite on the pump fake initially. Then when he came over to help, he didn't lunge out at Taylor, which would have dumped it off to Koufos for a dunk.
Taylor needs to get it in. Finds Ward Hibbert. Ward Hibbert hasn't got much time to work with here. To the fall away. Short. Whelan to Jackson. Jackson jams it in.
That's a beautiful hesitation on the pass from Whelan. He sort of fakes it half and then lets it go. And Zach Jackson out on the open floor. Nice finish.
Defense the cry from the home fans. Their team trail by 7. Nelson kicks it to Ward Hibbert. Gets in close for 2.
Ward Hibbert's been excellent so far. 5 points personal for him and he's looked active.
Whelan. Back out to Jackson. Whelan in the corner, hand in his face for 3. Nelson just winning that battle for the rebound.
Oh, Luke Nelson's done great there to snatch that away from Menzies.
Rebound to the fall away, got a bump. Will that go? No, it won't, but he will shoot 2.
Vucic or Ruben, we know how dangerous he can be coming off the bench, and Zach Jackson just wanted to make sure that wasn't an open jump shot. You see a little bump there, which takes Ruben away from the basket.
Chance to move it to double figures for the first time.
And that's how devastating this London Lions team. It doesn't feel like a 10-point game. You know, they're already out to a 10-point lead. I feel like these two teams have been going pound for pound, but it's the team in white with a nice 11-point cushion this early in the game.
Bit of pressure down court on McKenzie. He's able to get the ball in, and then Taylor got there a bit late, commits the foul.
A shake of the head from Taylor, picking up his first foul. He knows he was the culprit there. Smart play from Kimball McKenzie, though. He knew he had the defense on his hip there.
Adekoya into the game for the first time for Leicester. It's a football on Taylor. Won't change the shot clock. It'll stay at 18. Oh, McKenzie cutting back door all the way to the rim for the lay-in.
That's a beautiful pass, but an even better cut from Kimball McKenzie, who showed no fear attacking that rim.
Well, he realised Taylor wasn't expecting him to go, which is why he had the space. Here's Decker again from the three-point line, off the mark this time. Whelan steps into the 3, and he knocks it down.
Goodness me, well, that's a 50% free throw shooter. You've got to get out to him. He steps into that shot as comfortable as it looks. Big play from Pat Whelan.
First made 3 of the game for the Riders. Cuts the gap. Ooh, nearly lost to 6. Taylor. Long 2. No, it's a 3. I thought he towed the line at first, but the referee's hands went up.
It's a big response there from Taylor, and he does a good job of finding a gap there behind that screen set.
Loving lost his feet. He's still alive there. He didn't realize it. That's not a travel until you roll. Here's Ward Hibbett in the corner for another 3, and Adekoya will let that go out of bounds for a Leicester possession.
Not a great shot there from Ward Hibbett. I don't think London needed that one. They had control there, they had numbers.
Pat Whelan will get the last minute 17 of this first quarter on the bench. Evan Walsh in for him. I don't think Whelan will see too much time on the bench today. Ward Hibbett sits down as well. Ochume into the game for the first time for London. McKenzie driving in all the way to the rim. Doesn't get it to go.
We like that fearless mentality, especially with Josh Sharma controlling the paint inside, challenging all shots.
Decker with a step back knocks it down, and Sam Decker has 7 already.
And when Sam Decker is feeling like that, it can be demoralizing for any opponent just because he's so difficult to stop with his length and his ability to pull up like that.
Loving inside to Menzies, tried to jam it and is fouled by Sharma.
Well, there was an error there from Sharma, which subsequently picks up a foul. He tries to reach over there, which he's forever chasing. No one's covering him, and Menzies, good job to take it strong. But the big man there, as soon as you hedge, you want to get back as soon as you can. That little second or half second it takes to try and reach around there gives Menzies the advantage, of which he capitalized on.
His first point of the game. And he makes it 2 of 2.
Well, it's very rare as well. You'll see a 7-footer. He's an over 80% free throw shooter. So that's a big man that they've got that can knock down free throws.
Leicester in a bit of a zone here. It's just thrown London for a second. They're changing the play. Here's Taylor. Gets to the mid-range. Off the mark. Loving with the rebound. Shot clock is off. Walsh. Oh, I don't know what he's doing there. He was going too soon and he lost the ball out of bounds. And that just gives London one more chance here. You want to go stop the ball, make him pick it up. Oh, he gave him to half court. Decker almost loses it, steps back, takes the 3. What a shot! It's a long 2 for Sam Decker on the buzzer, but that will go down as a mistake by Evan Walsh, because London should never have got a shot there. Leicester should have run that to the buzzer.
No, they shouldn't, Dan, and that's the one where you want to put it in the hands of the point guard and let him dictate what happens with the closing seconds of the first quarter. But that's not what happened. What happened was you have an NBA player caliber in Sam Decker. Give him the opportunity to punish you on the other end of the floor, and he did. 9 points personal now for Sam Decker.
Well, look back at some of the action from the first quarter here, and the big thing as far as Leicester are concerned is how well London are shooting the ball. Lions are 5 of 8 from three-point range. They are over 50% from the floor. They scored 30 points in this first quarter. Leicester can't win the game with London scoring 30 points in a quarter.
They cannot, no. And, you know, you have to tip the hat to the professionalism and the level of focus that London Lions have came into this game. It was the same approach that they had against the Bristol Flyers in the other top-of-the-table clash a couple weeks ago. They get out to an early lead and 30 points on a Riders team who are really good at defending in this building in particular. Wow.
The other thing they've done is they've taken the three-point shot away from Leicester. Only 4 attempts for Leicester, just the one make from Patrick Whelan. And they've got to... That is about defense. Leicester won't take a bad shot from the three-point line, so if it's not there, they won't take it. That's why the numbers are down in terms of attempts, and that is due to good defense taking them away.
Yeah, and that's what I mean by the level of focus. It's both ends of the floor. It's not just focusing on your jump shot the other end of the floor. It's that, Dan, and you hit the nail on the head. One, deficiency you would see in this London Nines team is defending the three-point line, and Leicester Riders are the best at that this year in the BBL, so they've done a really good job of running the Riders off the line, but not giving themselves too many gaps in the middle.
10 minutes on the clock here to start the second quarter, and it's the Riders who will have the first possession, trailing by 11. Adekoya. Offensive foul called on Menzies.
He's moving those feet there. It didn't look like a whole lot, but he wasn't stationary in the screen. And that's been caught a lot this year, as the moving screens. You can tell that it's been something that the referees are a lot more vigilant on.
Nelson hooks it out to Urban. It was a little low for him, and he strings the three anyway. He's going to get a flop warning for hitting the deck.
Wow, pass was terrible, but it didn't matter. Ruben picks it off the floor and gets it to go.
Well, McKenzie ends up on the deck, and there's a fist in the air to say there's a foul. 77 White, the offender. So McKenzie will get a new possession from the end line. Well, the referee just confirming the flop warning with the London bench there. It's fair to say Coach Schmidt had a different view of that call. McKenzie to Loving, to the mid-range. Rebound Menzies, goes up strong. And that is a foul on Menzies. And I honestly think he's been hard done to there because he's big.
Agreed.
Because he's just turned the corner and he's made contact with Nelson, but I think that is just, he is a foot taller than the guy who's behind him. What's he supposed to do?
Bad call. But, had he, not been called for that, Josh Sharma's protecting the rim. So you see him there. Josh Sharma not out of the play by any means. Goes to block that shot.
Coach Paternostro's got a warning. He's not happy with that either.
Well, he's well within his rights not to be happy, and
he's got a technical now. Well, he's got to watch himself here. Well, I think his complaint is he's going the other way, and it's the referee behind him who's called the technical. But Decker is at the free throw line, and he hits the first one, and it's a 15-point lead. We go back to where the action was, which was that offensive foul on Menzies, which means London got the ball back. It's Decker driving hard. Great hands from Adekoya as ever. Walsh out in front. They won't catch him, and Walsh will lay it in.
Excellent hands from Jabu Adekoya. That's a good assignment for him. And as a result, the Leicester Riders get 2 points in the open floor.
Ruban looking to use his size against Walsh, but Walsh wins that battle, and Ruban is out of bounds. That's the Leicester ball.
A good play there from Evan Walsh, giving up some size there, but he certainly wasn't giving up any ground. Ruban just sort of slipped. Seemed to lose possession of the ball, and Riders responding positively after the technical from Coach Paternostra. Just fired the team in red up along with everyone else in the building.
Loving Offensive foul on Loving.
One too many tricks and turns there. I thought Loving had the jump shot. Not here. There's the fake. Just before the last drop of the shoulder. That's his first foul.
Well, Nelson Henry amongst the substitutes returning for Leicester. So they're back with their 4 of their starting 5. Adekoya the one difference to that. 2 minutes into the second quarter. London by 13. Decker sells the fake, driving in. Who's that on? Patrick Whelan called for it.
Well, you see, nice movement there without the basketball. Sam Decker. Pat Whelan, I don't know if there's a whole lot he could have done about that one. Just seemed to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, trying to break up the ball.
I think, oh no, it's only the 4th. I thought that was the 5th. It was the 4th team foul on Leicester, so it'll be sideline. Sharma cutting to the hole, misses it, trying to get his own rebound, but Nelson Henry able to wrestle it away.
Well, Josh Sharma has been someone who's been very good for this Lions team in the last 5 games.
Jackson, oh, what a rearrange. Didn't quite have enough to lay it in. Herban for 3, will that count? There's an offensive foul underneath. It's a question of whether the foul was committed before the shot went up. The referees will have a chat about it. The foul is on Sharma. It's just whether Herban had got the shot away before the foul was committed. No basket, says the referee. And the foul is on Josh Sharma.
Wow, that's a big play. Ruban found himself open. Knocked it down, but you say referees deemed that foul to be before the release of the shot.
It's the second foul on Sharma, so he's replaced by Kufos.
Well, Sharma's been good for Lions as well. He's been active, doing what he's supposed to do, changing shots.
So it's an interesting call because the referee who calls the foul is very unlikely to have seen when the shot went up. So they've got to agree between them as to whether... Oh, Nelson Henry trying the behind-the-back pass and unable to find Adekoya. Thornton returns for McKenzie. Huban into Kufos. Kicked on. Great ball movement. Nelson for 3. He didn't quite catch the ball cleanly. Oh, it's almost saved by Decker. He didn't quite catch the ball, and as a result, his whole rhythm was thrown off, which is why the shot missed by so much.
It was beautiful movement, though, from London Lions to get Nelson that shot. And look, he's someone who's hit 2 3-pointers already this evening, so I'm sure he'll relish the opportunity for the next one. But yeah, you're right, his balance was all wrong there, and the shot showed.
Whelan. Adekoya, nice use of the basket to lay that one in.
Again, nice movement for the Riders. Drive baseline from Adekoya, who didn't stop. Found his way all the way to the basket, and that's the difference now with Josh Sharma being taken out of the equation. Those shots will be there.
Nelson out to Taylor. On to Ward Hibbert. Ward Hibbert going the long way round. Nelson Henry grabbing the rebound. Thornton mid-range. Those ones have to go in because there's no offensive rebound coming. Huban into Kufos. Spins short. Oh, great play from Ward Hibbert.
The double team came there, which meant that the defense lost Ward Hibbert, who's one of the best in the league at that. He's that in-betweener. Is he a guard? Is he a forward? Who cares? He's crushing the basketball.
Nelson Henry trying to tip it in. Taylor pushing. Nelson's a little slow down court. Again, great hands from Adekoya, and it came off Taylor's leg. And I think Nelson's hobbling a little bit. So we look another back. Again, tremendous hands from Adekoya, and Nelson has just gone out of the game for the Lions. We'll keep an eye, see if he's gone right to the end of the bench. I think he is going to get he's going for a bit of a stretch by the looks of it. Of course, he's been out for a few weeks. Great block by Kufos.
That's good initial resistance there from Taylor.
Huban onto Ward Hibbett. Oh, blows the layup. And Leicester get it back. A little high. He's done well to keep that in play there, Adekoya. And Nelson Henry on the trail for the lay-in.
It's good basketball there. What a beautiful outlet pass which looped over the defense. And Adekoya, a nice little drop-down pass there for a cut-in. Nelson Henry. And you can't help but feel that London Lions have had the opportunity here to really extend their lead, and they're not taking it for either missed layups, missed shots, or some turnovers. But there's been some individual brilliance on the defensive end for the likes of Adekoya with his quick anticipation and stealing of the basketball.
Well, it's an 11-point lead for London. Ryan Schmidt with the timeout. And the thing that will please Coach Schmidt, he talked about in the pregame that when they play good defense, they're a really, really good team. 25 points they've kept this Riders team to in 15 minutes.
Yeah, nothing's came easy for Riders. They've got points off of turnovers, and that's an Achilles heel of the London Lions this year. They average 16 turnovers a game, which is the most in the league. And that's how Riders have been, finding some baskets here and there and staying in this ball game. So, but defensively in the half-court set, Lions have been very good, making the Riders work for every shot attempt.
Fives making their way back out onto court here at a sold-out Morningside Arena. As the two teams in first and second going head-to-head. Riders in first place for only the third time on Christmas Day, although London, with games in hand, have the better record. A little full court press back into a 2-3 zone here for the Riders. Some good shooters to keep an eye on in the zone, including this man, Decker. Inside to Kufos. Kufos with the hook. Nice pass, nice finish.
Pick and roll again, and the hard hedge just a half a second too long there, and Sam Decker so composed. Nice little dump down post entry pass.
Whelan going into traffic. Rebound Nelson Henry. Gets it a second time, and this time he'll go to the line for two.
Nelson Henry's got to do better there. Good offensive rebound initially from him. Should finish the first one, and the second one should be an and one. But good enough foul from Ruben to make things difficult for Nelson Henry.
It is his second, though, so he will go to the bench, replaced by Comagan. Adekoya sits down for Leicester. Loving returns.
And Ruben, it's 5 points already, and he's a guy that spaces the floor, and he's so intelligent on the offensive end.
Well, Leicester, 7 of their points have come from the free throw line. That's the first miss of the game from the foul line. Decker onto Taylor. Taylor drops it into Kufos, and he tosses it in for two.
Riders in that zone again. Just dangerous game against this London Lions team who are shooting the three from a healthy 60%, but it wasn't the three that hurt him on that occasion. It was the penetration and dump down to Kufos for the soft finish.
Jackson tries everything to lose Taylor, who stuck with him.
Good on-ball defense. That's what London have done a really good job at. Team defense and on-ball defense.
Decker again for three. This time he got caught by Patrick Whelan, and that is going to be the third, I think, on Whelan.
It's just a disastrous play there from the Riders. Patrick Whelan gets 3 fouls. It's your star player having to leave the court now, but also fouling a 3-point shooter. Sam Dekowicz will get 3 free throws.
Decker 30 of 37 coming into this game. Misses the front end.
Well, which is 81%. We say it week in, week out. This guy continues to impress us with his talents. Scores the ball in such a variety of ways. Played at the elite level. Drafted by the Houston Rockets, Washington Wizards, Cleveland Cavaliers. He's a guy that played in the NBA. He wasn't a guy that sat and scrapped for minutes. He was a guy that played in the NBA. And in my opinion, he's still showing the skill set and the ability to compete at that highest level.
Well, London now out to their biggest lead of the game at 16. Loving to the fall away. Doesn't go. Rebound Taylor. Taylor behind the back into the key. Taylor again looking to find some room. There isn't much around McKenzie, but he gets his own rebound. Back to Comigan. And that's tipped out by, I thought Kupos knocked that away, but obviously it must have come off Nelson Henry last.
Lines are big at the moment, and they're using their size, crashing the offensive glass. Riders looking, scattering to just to recoup the basketball.
Taylor short on the 3, and that's going to be off Jackson for another London possession.
Well, this isn't the best rebounding Riders team of recent history, and at the moment
you're not playing.
I didn't want to make that comparison, but thank you for raising it, Dan.
Here's Decker. Always got an assist in me, as Decker has always got points in him. He's up to 14.
It's remarkable. How do you block a jump shot as pure as that, fading away from the basket? The answer is you can.
You don't, yes. Thornton. Blocked by Taylor. And away come London, looking to stretch it to 20 before half-time.
Oh, Jordan Taylor, for all of his experience and talents offensively, he was an all-defensive player in college.
Good hands from Loving to bat it up in the air.
He's showing us now why.
Leicester could do with some points in transition, but London get back. Loving. Nelson Henry bats it in the air, and that will be London's possession. And there's going to be a timeout to London first with 1:48 to go. They have their biggest lead of the game at 18, 26 to 44. And I said it the last time out, but Coach Schmidt will be delighted. He's kept Leicester to 7 points in 8 minutes.
No, I think so. It's been really good combination of how they've done it as well. I think as a unit, collectively, they've played good team defense. They haven't allowed open threes for the Leicester Riders to get going in their home court. But also, if you look at the one-on-one isolation on-ball defense, it's been incredible. 1 through 5 have really taken it upon themselves to make everything difficult for the Leicester Riders team. And it's been the battle of the boards as well, which, it's a good indicator of which team wants it more. 25 to 15 in the favour of the London Lions at the moment, out-rebounding the Riders. And yes, the size and strength, the factors that come into that equation, but again, it's an indicator of who wants it more, and at the moment, the London Lions look hungry.
Well, the stat I always look cross with the rebounds rather than up-down. They've got 7 offensive rebounds, and Leicester have 10 defensive rebounds, so that's not far off half of their misses. They've got another go at it, and they've had 9 second chance points. Leicester have had 5 offensive rebounds, have 0 second chance points. And all of those little things add up, and it starts to wear on you as well when the other team gets more than one go at it. Connor Washington into the game for the first time. Down low to Kufos. He's blocked by Nelson Henry.
Good defense from Nelson Henry. They're just positioning and not reaching.
Loving out to McKenzie for three. Again, it was a good challenge from Taylor. That shot was not as easy as it looked when McKenzie caught the ball. That's a moving screen on Kufos. His second. Third London player to get to two. Leicester have Pat Whelan on three and Aaron Menzies on two.
It's good to see Connor Washington back out on the floor. We saw him last Friday against Manchester Giants, but he wasn't looking 100%, wasn't moving the same way as he typically does.
McKenzie knocks it down and he's fouled by Taylor. Basket will count. He'll go to the line for a bonus.
Kimball McKenzie, just that fearless approach to any basketball game he enters, and that's a tough shot. Taylor's played a good defensive game up to now. And McKenzie gets it to go.
Well, as comfortable as the scoreboard looks for London in the middle, just on the outskirts where the foul counters are kept, it's starting to look a little less comfortable with 4 players on 2 fouls. We'll hope they all get to halftime still on 2 and Coach Schmidt won't have to worry about it. Here's Decker. Decker driving hard. Tipped by Kufos, doesn't go. Comigan has it knocked away. Ball is bobbling about. Leicester have it with McKenzie to Jackson. Jackson is blocked, and that will be a Leicester ball. I'm not sure whether it was Comigan or Taylor. I think it was Comigan who got the block.
This is great defense because Taylor does a good job of just standing tall, and Comigan comes across there and challenges it. Fantastic transition defense.
Lobbed into Loving. Tipped out of bounds by Ward Hibbett for a Riders ball. McKenzie at the elbow, knows it's short, goes after it, but it falls into Comigan's hands first, and London with a chance to extend with the final shot of the first half. Taylor kicks out. Ward Hibbett in the corner for 3, and he knocks it down. And the London Lions will go into the locker rooms with the biggest lead of the first half on the buzzer, thanks to Josh Ward Hibbett's 3.
It all starts with Jordan Taylor. That's what you want. You want the ball in the hands of your point guard to make the decisions with the closing seconds of the quarter, and he does just that. Penetration in the middle of that defense and finds his teammate, Josh Ward Hibbett, open in the corner again and knocks it down.
Well, an excellent first half from the London Lions at both ends of the floor. 28 points they've kept Leicester to, while scoring 47 at the other end of the floor. And they haven't shot the ball as well as the half went on, but they kept the scoreboard ticking over, and they would punctuate it with the 3 whenever they needed one.
Well, I mean, I don't think the team could execute a game plan any better than they have in that first half. You know, keep a talented offensive team shooting teams low, and they've done exactly that. Good at first half for them.
Well, let's get some halftime reaction with Mark on the baseline.
And we're going to have a very special half-time performance.
So I'm with Darian Nelson Henry. Darian, quite a difference in the score. What adjustments did you have to make going into this second half?
Yeah, obviously, 28 points offensively is not where we want to be at. But I think the bigger number is 47 for them. Obviously, we pride ourselves on our defense, and 47 is way too much in a half. Shots are going to fall for us. They're good. They're long. They're disciplined. So it's going to be tough to score on the offensive end, but we're getting good shots. It's more on the defensive end we got to get stops. That's about it.
Okay, well, best of luck in the second half. Thanks for your assessment. Back to you guys. Thank you.
Well, as you said, a lot to work on at half-time. His team trailed 28 points to 47. We've seen an excellent first half from Sam Decker, who's had 14 points, 5 rebounds, a couple of assists as well. He's shooting 62% from the floor. Let's find out a little bit more about Sam Decker.
My dad was a high school coach for 30 plus years in my hometown at a couple high schools. My brother, who was 6 years older than me, grew up playing, so I'm watching them around the game. I wanted to be a part of it. Those are two probably of my biggest inspirations still. Before I can even remember, I was trying to dribble the ball and run around and just wanted to be part of it. I grew up in a city called Sheboygan, Wisconsin. You know, kind of just a cool coastal town. And they love their Green Bay Packers and their Milwaukee Bucks. They love all their sports teams there, which, you know, really instills that sports culture in you. And I always had access to a gym. And that was kind of the biggest thing for my development, was not just learning the game, but just being around the game. My mom has a journal entry from my second grade class and said, "What are you going to be when you grow up?" And I said, "I'm a professional basketball player." So I've never had a plan B, but I knew this is what I wanted to do, and this could be a path that took me somewhere. I remember there was a game, I think I was 5 years old, but I still remember it. We went to the Milwaukee Bucks game at the Bradley Center. My first game I ever went to. It was the last game of the millennium, and I remember how cool it was, and the bright lights, and the mascots, and the fans, and the T-shirt toss. I just thought it was like the coolest thing, and we were up in the nosebleeds, and the fans started dwindling down. My dad saw it as an opportunity. Let's get closer to the court and kind of find some open seats to get closer to the action. And you know, the fact that I still remember that as this like turning point for me, like this is so cool. What an experience. Like, oh, these guys I see on TV, I'm right here. You know, that was a moment that was cool to me. Trying to mimic all the guys I watch on TV with my brother, playing one-on-one against him, and trying to be like my idols. To not now know some of those guys I used to try to be like is pretty cool. And you know, this game has really, I think, helped mold who I am.
Lucic, great steal, and Decker jams it in.
And I was traded 3 times in my first 4 years in the NBA. That's not an easy thing to go through, because you're not just changing uniforms, right? You're moving. You're moving out of a place, you're moving to a new place, you're learning a new offense, you're learning new teammates, you're learning a new city, new fans, new coaches. You just constantly feel like you're proving yourself every day, right? And then you get traded again, and it resets itself. And then you get traded again, and it resets itself. And it wears on you not only as a player, but also as a person, and also it wears on your family. And then going overseas, and then proving it again, and then going to a new team, proving it again, then going back to the NBA, proving it again, and then going back overseas again and proving it again. I've had probably 11 or 12 head coaches in 8 years, and that mentally was hard. Is hard. Trying to feel like I have to prove my worth every single day. It's made me tough. It's made me who I am, but it's been a challenge for sure. I'm trying to be a good ambassador for the game here in London, but also globally. You can see now the BBL is trying to mesh talent with structure. I love my role. I love that I have a lot on my plate. I love that I'm given a responsibility, and I don't take that lightly. Every night, guys are going to try to go at you. One, because you have London Lions on your chest, and 2, because you know my history as a player. These guys are coming hungry, and we have to also be hungry every day.
Take your blessings with your heartaches too. So easy and so wonderful to know it's you. So come on, let's make this woman shine all day. Let's make this world do everything you say. It's so easy.
Create your perfect diamond engagement ring. Choose your design, choose your diamond, and experience Love Lumber's bespoke same-day diamond engagement rings at Lumbers Jewelers.
Rebounded by Mayhat. Flyers can break. It's Mayhat driving inside. Extra pass for DJ King throws it down. Here's Suluade playing the point guard. Aruba. Ball inside to Kupos. Euro step puts it up and in. Now here's Taylor. Started by Miller. Taylor driving inside. Kicks out to Decker for three and drains it as the shot clock expires. Yeah, I mean, 3 lines on double figures right now. They're led by Decker, who's got 17. Here's Miller driving inside. It's swatted by Kupos. Back iron, no good. Another rebound for Brandon Mayhan. That's his 6th. Here's Delpech running to the hole. Jams it in. That's the biggest kill of the game so far.
Johnny Bunyan has been excellent in this game, doing the little things that matter, and there he is, popping up, making a big play.
And with the rejection, is that nice quick look at that block from Tappy. Up there, get out of here. Back to the middle. Sloan looks to attack the middle. Nice drop off the pass inside. Thanks to his gladiators.
Well, there's the initial replay here, behind the back pass.
Well, it's a 20-point lead for the London Lions. It's their biggest lead of the game. Decker backdoor slams it down. Gonna run the clock down and see what they've got in their locker. defender kicks it out to Walsh. He drives into the middle, flips it up high, and makes the pocket. Strong move, Evan Walsh. What a bonus, what a pretty play this is. Evan Walsh doing what he does. He's an aggressive, attacks the paint, flips it up.
That's it. This is a team as well, remember, they capitalise off turnovers. It's the league leaders in points off turnovers.
Whoa, my word. What a bucket from David Sloan. May have been a foul.
Well, welcome back to the Morningside Arena, where the Leicester Riders are in an unfamiliar position, trailing 28 points to 47. And I know you're a stat man. When was the last time Leicester were 19 or more down at home?
Oh, please say it wasn't when I played.
It wasn't when you played, actually. It wasn't. I'll narrow it down. Which building was it in?
Loughborough.
It wasn't this one, that's for sure. It was actually John Sanford. You have to go back to 2010, January 2010. Wow. Leicester were 29-53 down to Glasgow Rocks at halftime. For the last time that they had a home game with a deficit this big. The biggest previous halftime deficit in this building was 31-48, but that was actually Leicester against Sheffield in that cup game when it was essentially Charnwood against Sheffield. So 14 really is the biggest deficit they've faced before. And the numbers tell you why. 28% field goal shooting, 31 from two-point range. It's tough to win like that. Now, I know London are only 38%, but they've hit the threes as well and just made it more difficult.
Well, I think the devastating thing about the defense, the impact the defensive lines are having, Riders aren't even been able to get their shots off. They're 1 for 6. You know, this is a team that's shoots 38%, and they'll get a lot more threes up than 6 per half. And London have just completely taken them away from their typical offensive style, which is a credit to the London Lions and the way that they've played. And what I like about London Lions mentality as well, there's no Tomislav Zubcic, there's no Ovi Soko. There's no Mia Oni, but it hasn't a team that's looking for excuses or coming in here saying, oh, we're depleted. This is a team that's focused on both ends of the floor, and they've dominated the first 20 minutes of play in this building.
Well, they certainly have. And I suppose the question is, can Leicester make any inroads early here? Because if London come out with like a, 10-2, 12-4 sort of start, then, it's basically in the books. Leicester have to have some response here at the start of the second half as London get us underway. Here's Decker. Getting his way to the rim. Rebound from Kostakouphos. A little hook round Loving, but can't convert.
Well, it's an encouraging sign there. Decker missed his first shot of the half, and no putback finish there from Koufos.
Nelson Henry showing his footwork, but not quite enough on that.
Just a little bit too short, and enough resistance there from Koufos to put Nelson Henry off the shot.
Trying to thread that to Koufos, but Leicester able to deal with it. Thornton getting it to Jackson for 2.
That's good aggression there from Thornton. Didn't slow down. He had one thing on his mind, and that was to get to the rim. He did just that and found a cutting, flying Zach Jackson.
Off the foot of Thornton and out of bounds. And as you say, he's done really well here. Thornton drew the defense and found Jackson for the easy score. They could do with a few more of those. Decker. Taylor for 3. Front iron. And Thornton is able to keep it in play. Thornton snaking his way to the basket.
That's so difficult. He stayed nice and low there, and you weren't really quite sure when he was about to explode. And where Thornton's really difficult to guard, he goes equally as strong to his left hand as he does to his right. He has that real ambidextrous approach to when he attacks the rim.
Taylor somehow gets through Thornton there for the lay-in.
Oh, I don't know how he did it, but he did it well. Jordan Taylor, such a strong addition to this London Lions team.
Nelson Henry finding Jackson cutting hard to the hole and just squeezing it in.
Nice finish from Jackson. He does a good job, doesn't he, of just jumping at the rim and not releasing the ball until that very last split second.
Yeah, he's got so many different ways of finishing. Decker for three off the mark. Well, a good start by the Riders here to the second half. Can they make further inroads into this deficit? Jackson spinning and off the glass. He is fouled, and that will be a bonus free throw coming.
Zach Jackson is so tough. He had a remarkable game up in Manchester in the overtime win. And here he is again, finding a way to score in a number of different ways.
The referee signalled 11 to the table there, confused us all. It is, of course, number 10, Luke Nelson. His first, and Jackson converts the three-point play. It's down to 13. Still a long way to go, but they're making inroads to the mountain they have to climb. Here's Nelson along the baseline. Great finish from Luke Nelson.
That's tough, and again, another sign that Nelson's fully on the mend and back to full health, attacking the rim like that.
Thornton feeding Whelan backdoor for the lay-in.
Well, breakdown defensive then from Nelson, lost his man, and Whelan, perfectly timed cut for the finish.
Here's Kufos. Mano a mano with Nelson Henry. That's going to be a foul on Jackson, as Decker had the inside position on the missed shot.
It's an excellent job on the offensive glass from the Lions today. They've been such a menace to the point where Riders just don't know what to do at times.
Well, Nelson is open, and he knocks it down.
It's a big play. And again, something you cannot allow if you're the Leicester Riders is open threes for Luke Nelson stepping into it.
Thornton trying to get the points back himself, and he does.
It's a big response from Derek Thornton.
Well, he was the one who'd allowed Nelson a little bit too much space, so he felt obliged to get those points back. That's going to be an off-the-ball foul on Taylor with a moving screen. And here's Thornton. He's not the best three-point shooter in the league by any stretch of the imagination, but he can knock them down every now and then, and they needed that one.
That's turnover number 11 now for the London Lions.
Foul number 3 as well on Taylor. Thornton has it knocked away. Ward Hibbert trying to run away with it. Herban comes up with it. Nelson back to Kufos, and he is so effective with that little toss.
He is. As soon as you feed him inside, he delivers.
Offensive foul called. Not sure who on.
I think it's a screen.
It's Thornton.
Oh, Thornton.
So it's on the. This is the last play from Kufos. It was on the near side of the court. That's what I was saying. I was looking over at Nelson Henry setting the screen. I didn't think there was anything wrong with that, but there clearly was something with what Thornton did on the near side. And he's got called for 2 in a row here. That one's on the floor. The basket won't count.
Well, it's a fortunate foul there, really, because Derek Thornton was beat. Luke Nelson going to that strong left hand. That would have been a sure 2 points there for Nelson.
2 fouls, both of them in the last few seconds for Thornton. Rebound around the screen. Taylor to the spin, kicks out. Ward Hibbert in the corner for 3. Doesn't go. And can Jackson win that battle? With a little help from Loving, he can.
He's done excellent there.
Inside to Nelson Henry. Nelson Henry with the fade. Travelling violation called. I'm not sure, because that's a shot attempt, so he's allowed to grab the rebound. Well, I'm not sure about that one. I'll have to look it up later. I'm not going to say it's wrong.
Either way, Kufos, great
Stolen
stand.
away by Jackson. And he takes it right to the rim. And Taylor on 3 fouls had to be careful.
Wow, Riders are doing a good job off the turnovers. And this time Jackson on the open floor. Doesn't need his teammate. Just levitates over Taylor.
Well, I didn't see how, but Jackson ended up on the floor. And all the Riders were looking at him. All the Riders players were looking at the referees. The referee said, get up.
Well, all the while, Mark Lovin, 6'7", was tasked with trying to guard Kufos at 7 foot.
It's down low to Whelan. Jackson back to Whelan, takes the three. Straight to Nelson Henry, almost like a pass.
That's one thing that happens that's a positive for the Riders there, as Kufos is out on the perimeter trying to contest Whelan, which means there's not a 7-footer inside rebounding. Nelson Henry gets an easy putback.
Kufos with the runner, gets his own rebound, misses again, and Nelson Henry secures it.
Oh, it's a rare double miss there from Kufos. And
is Thornton driving hard to the hole, and that came off Kufos out of bounds for a Leicester possession. Menzies will come back in. As you can see, that one just tipped off Kufos. Kufos will sit down. Sharma will come in. Two bigs working hard out there.
They are. They've been fighting, battling for every inch of that key.
Not often both those guys go 6.5 minutes at the start of a quarter. Loving trying to feed it to Menzies, but Huban gets his hand in the way.
It's a difficult pass there, and Aruban was equal to it.
Loving. Late in the shot clock here. Loving needs to get it up. Fires it away and knocks it down. Looked like he might have got away with the step there. But that one counts.
Goodness me. Yeah, composure. That's a really good contested shot as well from Aruban. Coach Schmidt's infuriated on the sideline here.
Oh, Leicester have cut it to 10. Big shot in the corner from Nelson. He misses. Whelan with the rebound. Jackson for three. Well, the ball batted out to Ward Hibbert. Taylor attacking. And I think that is going to be foul number 3 on Derek Thornton.
I don't see the foul there either. I think Derek Thornton's hands are straight up, and I know there's contact, but that contact's being initiated by the offensive player.
Well, he has to sit down. And Zach Jackson does as well, as Bowman comes in and McKenzie comes in. And Nelson sits down for London with Decker returning.
Taylor's done a remarkable job of just slotting into this team, hasn't he? Remember, this is his first league game. He played a cup game in the semi-final fixture. He's played a Euro Cup game. So he's only 3 games into his London Lions career.
And he's got 7 points and 9 assists.
Wow.
Bowman. Whelan on to Loving. Loving throwing it towards Menzies, and Taylor's gone underneath him there. And that's going to be the 4th foul on Jordan Taylor.
That was good ball movement from Riders there, making that London Lions defense shift. And the experience there of Taylor. He knows he's given up a lot of size in there and trying to get away with a body foul which got caught by the referee.
Well, he sits down. Comagun's come into him. It'll be interesting to see who London run at point guard here.
Well, Luke Nelson just exited the floor for a rest.
They didn't bring him back, so it'll be somebody different. Oh, Whelan loses the handle and can only tip it out of bounds. It's a London ball, and Whelan just holding his head there as he collided with Comagun. He's helped back to his feet by his teammates. He's okay to continue. And it'll be a London ball. Lead is 12. 2 minutes to go, so 12 minutes in total. Here's Decker who's going to play point guard.
Why not, Dan? He can do everything else.
Yeah, that came off Urban's foot. That'll be a Leicester ball.
Well, and that's the big deficiency you'll see with Taylor off the floor and Luke Nelson off the floor. There's not a natural point guard there, and already Riders commit London Lions to commit a turnover.
And straight away, Coach Schmidt, presumably, to discuss that, whether it's also, well, I was about to say to buy another minute for Nelson and put him back in, but it doesn't look like Nelson's going to come back in. So he's just going to be, okay, this is how we're going to run it without a point guard for a minute, without a natural point guard.
Well, there's one sitting right behind the bench, and Aaron Best, who's alleviated a lot of that point guard role. And he's been a phenomenal player for them in both domestic and European competition. He's not been able to feature in today's game.
Essentially on registration, because obviously they now, with Taylor's addition, they have 6 non-British players, and you can only have 5 registered at any one time. And they could have re-registered him for sub-change, but you can only do it so many times, and then you run out of rotation, so to speak. So to do it one game in would seem a bit quick, which is probably why they haven't. And, well, Leicester here, as we look back over the highlights of this third quarter, just clawing and scrapping. They haven't got back to single figures yet, but they're not out of it either at this moment in time.
No, they're still there down, and they're still shooting the ball well below averages on three-point line. Only 2 3-pointers for them, 2 for 10. But they've been doing it through their determination, grit, and getting the Lions to commit turnovers.
Loving top of the key. Just a bit short, but enough to get over the rim.
Well, that's a comfortable looking shot for Lovin. Just 6 points personal for him. So they'll look for him to establish himself now in the closing stages of this game.
Decker getting into the key. What a shot that is off the glass.
Unbelievable. Just takes matters into his own hands. Literally jumps over 2 defenders. Kisses it off the glass.
Loving. McKenzie out to Whelan. Fakes the 3, takes the second one. Had 2 guys running at him.
It's an incredible long active zone. Didn't give up any open looks there.
Urban steps into a nice looking 3, and of course he knocks it down.
He's so talented and doesn't get his emotions too high or too low. Of course, all-time leading scorer in the Basketball Champions League. Number 77 will come on floor and hurt you in a number of ways.
He's got one of the smoothest shots in the league.
Oh,
such
incredible.
a delight to watch. Bowman late in the shot clock, finding some room and laying it in off the glass.
Bowman doing a great job there just to attack that zone. Skipping and bouncing around the baseline. Nice finish.
Well, this is Leicester's best scoring quarter so far. 24 points. They've won this quarter. Decker trying to get one more score for London. Decker has the mismatch with the big man, gets the shot away, and that will do it. Well, as I say, Leicester winning that quarter by 24 points to 18, but they still have 13 more points to make up. And they haven't quite looked like they could get over the hump here yet.
No, but it's progress in the right direction. I think if you're the Leicester Riders, holding the London Lions team to 18 points in that quarter and 17 previously after having that, floodgates open in the first quarter where they conceded 30. Things are materialising in the right direction for the Riders, but it's the London Lions who still have that healthy lead. And you just think that they've got the talent, your Sam Deckers that can, turn a game in any moment of time.
Well, we talked in the first half about were they in a bit of foul trouble with the number of guys on two. The reality is all of those guys, bar Taylor, are still on two. So they're not in foul trouble going into the fourth. But they don't quite have the depth in the point guard position that they do in some of the others. Obviously, Nelson still coming back to full fitness. He's played 19 minutes. He's probably going to have to play a lot of this fourth quarter to cover that until they feel comfortable to put Taylor back in late on. But in the half court, they've shown that they have players that can create for themselves, so it might not be as important.
No, and I think they just need to carry on with their philosophy defensively as well. They've had to go to the zone a lot more in the second half, which has looked active to me. It's just Riders, I think, is just growing in confidence. It's just a better offensive team just trumping the defensive set. I think defensively, London Lions are still strong and still solid, but I think you're right, Dan. I think they've got to figure out a way now to mitigate I think the responsibilities of the point guard position here. Luke Nelson's going to look to carry that load now, but for how long?
Well, sold out house here at the Morningside Arena. It's been a long time since Leicester have not won a game in this building. A club record 23 consecutive victories. Club record equaling, to give Rowe his due, having been part of the original 23-game home winning streak. I should have looked it up, see how many of them you did play. And Menzies inside and he's fouled by Sharma.
Probably all of them, Dan.
Probably. They were probably the first 23 games you played, weren't they, mate? Suddenly you turned up and everything was right in the world.
Well, I was very fortunate to be on some very strong teams, and when we played at the John Stanford, it did not look as beautiful as this that we're sitting in now, but boy, was that a fortress for us. We legitimately felt that we could beat anyone and everyone in that building. And for a long period of time, we did.
Roof was slightly lower than this. Sorry. Floor was slightly less even.
Yeah, and it had like a natural orange tint around it, like there was a filter on it.
Yeah. But boy, what a home court advantage it was. A lot of good shooters went into John Sanford and were like, how do I knock a shot down in this place? Here's Nelson. There's a foul on there as well as he tosses that one in. And basket will count, and the foul is on Aaron Menzies.
Goodness me. Nelson just carries on in the middle here and shoots it up with his weaker hand. Good job penetrating in the middle and gets bumped after the foul. And tough play there from Luke Nelson. Well, of course, GB International has had some big games, made some big shots for us over the years. It's good to see him back in the UK playing basketball on home soil.
And he's applying the pressure on McKenzie. Whelan to Adekoya. Back to McKenzie. Late in the shot clock for Leicester. McKenzie gets room for three and knocks it down.
That's a tough play from Kimbo McKenzie. He knew his options were limited and he saw the little confusion there between two Lions defenders and exploited that space.
Oh, and turned over. No, it's not. Sharma does a good job of recovering that. Here's Herban for three. He misses. Adekoya able to come up with it. Leicester out in the open floor with Whelan. Whelan going hard to the rim, and that will count for Patrick Whelan. Josh Sharma has landed hard there. Just check he's okay. You look back, there's a foul in there. You can see Sharma went over Whelan, hit the deck really hard.
Wow, it's unfortunate for Sharma, and hopefully he's okay because he's doing his job. He's contested all shots, but that's the worst combination you can have. You pick up a foul and also you hurt yourself in the...
And that is his 4th personal foul, so he will sit down, replaced by Kufos.
Well, it was this time off the missed shot that the Riders were able to get numbers down the floor, and getting Patrick Whelan doing what he does best, and that's put the ball in the hole.
And Riders are as close as they've been for a very long time here, down only 8 early in the 4th quarter. Here's Nelson. Kicks out. Comagan tossing it in, but I don't think Kufos was quite expecting it. McKenzie's able to steal it away.
It's brilliant play from Kimball McKenzie. He knows if Kufos catches that basketball, it's over. Doesn't allow him to. Steals the basketball.
Menzies bought the fake there. Tuban running down McKenzie, and it's an offensive foul.
Well, McKenzie's doing exactly what he should do in that situation, but it's a soft one for me. Well, I don't know. He's got body position. There wasn't a lot of contact there, but...
Well, I must admit, I didn't think it was a charge in real time, but it looked like it on the replay, didn't it?
It did. Kimball McKenzie, that's what he does. He's high IQ, intelligent basketball player. You don't play Ivy League and have the successful college career he did by coincidence.
Here he is at the top of the key, and he knocks it down. It's down to 6.
Well, they're coming, and you can feel the energy in this building increasing. That shot there gets the home crowd involved.
Defense echoes around the Morningside Arena. Decker back out to Taylor. He's returned to the game. Kufos now to the hook, off the mark. Bowman with the rebound, and he's pushed. No, he didn't. He landed out of bounds. I thought for a second the referee had called a foul, but he must have landed on the end line. Oh, here's that last shot from McKenzie at the top of the key. I say he's not scared of the big moment, Kimball McKenzie.
No, he is not.
Lions ball from the end with a fresh 14. Nelson to Huban. Huban spinning, tough shot. Rims out. Menzies gets his hands on it. McKenzie, same shot. He knew that was off, but Menzies trying to tip it in. He's stolen it away, but has he done so illegally? The referees are looking at each other. 6, sorry. So 5-1. I was thinking 51, but 5-1 is 6, isn't it? Jackson and Nelson Henry are going to return. Menzies just got called for his 4th. And as he sits down, and so too does Bowman.
He might be the new unluckiest guy in the British Basketball League. Usually coincidence, lightning doesn't strike twice, but it seems to consistently happen to Menzies where these 50-50 fouls get called against him.
Taylor under all sorts of pressure, doesn't go. Kufos keeping it alive for London. Defense scrambling a bit. Nelson back to Decker. Decker for 3. Oh man, what a shot from Sam Decker.
It's huge. It's a hand in the face. But Sam Decker continues to put points on the board. 19 points personal now for his team.
McKenzie under pressure. His bank shot doesn't go. London with numbers here. Decker dumps it off to Huban, lays it in, and Rob Paternostro wants to try and bring an end to this momentum that the Lions have suddenly got as the lead goes back out to 11.
Such a smart move by Sam Decker. There's a shot before. Nothing but net. And there's the Euro step, which avoids the offensive, any possibility of offensive foul. And he dumps it off to his teammate, Ruben, who finishes the play.
Well, Leicester had the momentum there. They had a couple of shots from McKenzie that on another day goes in, and it down to, say, 4. And instead, London able to get out. Sam Decker doing what he's been brought in to do as the closer for this London Lions team, just pushing the lead back out to double figures.
Well, the greatest thing about Sam Decker as well, he starts the game as hot as he does, that he doesn't need to chuck up a bunch of shots in the third quarter. He's patient, he's professional, he waits for the game to come to him, and when his team need him, he doesn't shy away, he steps up, and some big plays from him in this fourth quarter so far. And there's a lot of time to go, down to 6 minutes left in this fourth quarter. And we've seen a couple combination punches from the Riders and Lions retaliating. But again, a good chunk of this quarter still undone.
Five's back out on court. Leicester with the ball. Whelan bringing it forward. Look how much attention they're paying to McKenzie now.
Really hard hedge too.
Adekoya blocked by Decker.
Wow. That's an excellent defensive set. The hard hedge there, but Riders weren't able to exploit the extra man.
Nelson drops it off to Kufos. Ward Hibbert gets into the elbow. Misses the shot though. There's almost too much space for him.
Yeah, I thought there was an extra pass there to Taylor in the corner.
Well, Nelson commits a foul there because I think he's hurt himself. He just wanted to stop the game. Well, here's another look at that block from Decker. He's just timed it really well. And Luke Nelson hobbles out of the game. Jabril Adekoya replaced by Mark Loving. Well, you're hoping that's not too serious. Obviously, he's missed quite a bit of time. He's gone straight to the physio's bed at the end of the arena here. I doubt we'll see him back today, but...
Well, good for him as well, Dan. I mean, this is a big game to be thrust back into, and he didn't want to miss this opportunity to play against Leicester Riders, and he's done very well in 14 points. 6 rebounds and 4 assists.
Nelson Henry late in the shot clock. Out to Whelan for 3. Too long.
Oh, rare. Off miss there from Pat Whelan. We got a rare open 3-point shot. He hasn't got too many of those this evening.
He's 1 of 5 now from behind the arc. Here's Decker for 3. Loving with the rebound. Loving is going to pull up. And there's a foul against Nelson Henry on that rebound. Bodies flying everywhere.
That's good hustle from Nelson Henry. He's just trying to make something happen here. And we've seen Mark Lovin hit those threes as well in sort of that casual transition way he does.
London still up 11 with 4.5 to go. Taylor driving in hard. Oh, just a little too strong on that. It looked like he'd done enough for a score there. Whelan turning the corner, driving hard, and losing the ball under the pressure of Kufos. I'm not sure if Kufos touched that or he just lost it.
He just did a good job of getting over there, being big and doing enough to get Whelan to lose focus on that shot.
Kufos spinning strong, good finish.
That's tough. Beautiful dribble in the middle. spin baseline, so much space he covers there. 15 points for Kufos.
McKenzie is fouled as he goes through by Costa Kufos. And he's picked the ball up there, McKenzie, and once you pick the ball up, you're in your shooting motion. So despite the protestations from the Lions bench, that will be 2 free throws. They're also over the limit, so it doesn't really matter. McKenzie hits the bottom of the net with the first. I just think it's dangerous when the big guys just jump up there and swipe at it like that, because one day you just tip it in, it becomes worth 2. I just prefer them to wait, but it's what he does, and he's made a career out of it.
You're speaking like you're speaking from experience.
No, never above the rim, me. Good hands from Jackson, but it's out of bounds for London ball.
Well, bodies flying everywhere there. I'm not quite sure what happened.
Jackson deflects it, and McKenzie's then going, I didn't touch it, ref. I didn't touch it. So Leicester have got a warning, but McKenzie didn't see that his teammate had touched it. Coach Smith going to talk things over with 3:21 to go. His team still with a double-figure lead. And he's got 2 timeouts still left in his locker. So he wants to use one of them now. Well, Kufos is more interested in talking to the referee than his coach right now. Having a long discussion with the official before he heads to the huddle.
It's been one of these quarters, isn't it? That sort of high intensity, low scoring. Riders winning the fourth quarter 12-10. But every single play is high fought after. It's got that final feel about it, that's for sure.
Well, the problem Leicester have is winning the quarter 12-10 is not enough. They have to win it 24-10 or something to that effect to be able to win the game. And it's whether they've got enough offense, never mind the defense, to get past 75 from here.
Yeah, and this is what's been the disruptor for the Leicester Riders. They make 8 3-pointers a game on average, and they've made 3 to date. And again, it's not been solely down to the poor shooting of the Riders. It's just been the Lions defense taking it away from the Riders.
Lions ball from the end. 3 on the shot clock. Need to get it in. It's back to Decker. Decker has room, but misses. Oh, but it falls into the hands of Ward Hibbert. Jackson thought he had it, and then he lost it. Taylor, mid-range, short, and McKenzie gets it. Well, they've given that to Leicester. I'm pretty sure that came off McKenzie.
Yeah, I did.
So it either has to be a foul or a London ball. But the referee has gone for the middle ground of a Leicester possession. Whelan running off the screens, chased by Kuban. Nelson Henry. McKenzie. Looking for options, can't really find any. Goes again. Jackson steps back for 3. Back iron. Kufos with the rebound. London in no rush.
Defense just not allowing anything easy. It's a really tight-knit unit out there defensively at the moment. And I think it helps having Jordan Taylor in the mix as well.
You think?
I know.
There's Decker spinning, using his size, but not winning that battle. He wants a foul. He's livid, but Leicester are running. Loving going strong, and 1 for Mark Loving.
That is tough. Mark Loving in the open floor. It's been a relatively frustrating evening for him. But look at that, the ability to withstand the foul, absorb the contact and finish with a left. Beautiful play.
Well, Decker is still arguing his case from the previous call. I didn't see who that foul was on, but it was their fourth. Who was that foul on? As Loving knocks it in.
I'm not sure, Dan. I thought maybe Kufos, but...
Yep. I'll get it confirmed in a second. Here are London. Taylor to Kufos. Not this time, but he gets his own rebound. And, oh, he can't convert. But he will go to the line for two.
Good persistence from Kufos, who's had one of those monstrous games. 15 points. 13 rebounds for him. Big double-double.
It was his foul, so he is on 4. But no chance of taking him out with less than 2 to play in a 8-point game.
No, I think you roll the dice on that one.
Dice.
He's had a huge game. 16 points now for him.
This to make it 10 again. And he does. Time running out for Leicester. They need to go quick, but they need good scores. McKenzie over to Whelan for 3. Misses everything. London have numbers here. Do they go or do they run clock? Ward Hibbett's going to run clock. That's probably the wise move in the situation.
Yeah, smart play from Josh Wood-Hibbett there. I think it's naturally easy when you see Sam Decker ahead of you to try and make something happen, but this will suit the London Lions.
Particularly if this goes in. Ward-Hibbett, no. Jackson running, has Whelan ahead of him. Jackson's going to pull up for the transition 3 and he's going to knock it down. 7-point game.
Wow, big play from Zach Jackson. Just pulls up there on a dime, knocks it down. 7-point game.
Well, that's going to be a foul, and that's going to be the 15th foul, so it's going to be 2 free throws as Taylor will go to the line. Third for Loving. Taylor, a good free throw shooter. You would expect a man of his experience and caliber to make these. Ooh, the first one's a long way short.
I mean, this is a guy that has had Euro Cup, Euro League experience, has played at the highest level. He went to the same university, Wisconsin, as Sam Decker, so for those guys coming from the same cloth.
He's missed them both. Not at the same time, though. It's the first time they played together. Here's McKenzie. Well, a 3 here makes it interesting for Leicester. Whelan trying to get 2. Nelson Henry can't get the rebound. London have it, and that will probably do it. Here's Ward-Hibbett, has a free lane to the basket and takes it for 2.
That's a tough finish from Josh Ward-Hibbett, because if he misses that, it's a bad shot because he shot it quickly.
McKenzie out to Loving, resets for 3, has to go in, does go in. 30 seconds to play, 6-point game. Well, Leicester go into foul mode here. Oh, they almost got a steal. Decker has it. Decker loses it. Oh, my goodness. 24 seconds to go. And London turn it over. Is there enough time?
Just uncharacteristic turnover there. Turnover number 16 for Lions, and it was like he didn't catch the ball yet and already decided what he was going to do with it. Odd turnover.
Loving to McKenzie. Leicester need a quick 3 or a quick anything, and they're going to get 2 from the line. McKenzie attacks, and that will be the 5th foul on it was on Ward-Hibbett, was it?
Josh Ward-Hibbett,
sorry.
Yeah.
It's the first foul on Josh Ward-Hibbett. McKenzie has to make both of these.
87% free throw shooter.
And he doesn't hang about. He has missed 1 earlier today. 3 of 4. He makes them both. And the timeout. That was the problem for Coach Schmidt, calling the earlier timeouts. He was like, they're coming. When do I use the timeout? And he kept pushing it, and of course, they should have been okay. Decker, 99 times out of 100, 999 times out of 1,000, catches that and runs in a dunk, and he's not got to worry about it. But now he's got the decision of, does he advance the ball or does he take it in the backcourt? Obviously, the disadvantage of taking it in the backcourt is if you turn it over, they could get an easy score. If they take it into the front court, this is the one. Look, just got it. Whoa, where did it go? You just don't see that very often. If you move it to the front court, it can be a more difficult pass from the sideline. But if you do turn it over, they've got further to go. What do you do, advance or backcourt?
You're looking at the defense from the Riders' perspective as well. Even if they do advance the basketball, 14 seconds on the shot clock.
They're going to foul, yeah.
They're going to foul anyway, matter. So it's,
they are moving it to the front court. It's not a shot clock decision, it's an inbound decision. They're going to move it to the front court. I think it's a harder pass there because obviously on the baseline you can run because it's off a score, whereas on the sideline you have to stay where you're given the ball. But they've got to get it into a teammate and then wait for the foul. Got to get it in. It's into Kufos. Oh, he's got the ball away. Leicester need to foul. Well, I thought Adekoya had fouled him, and the referee was happy with it. And that's one of those problems where they almost sort of favour, and you go, well, actually, but what's a foul? A foul is a foul. Yeah. They lost a few seconds there, and they got Decker the ball to shoot the free throws instead. Well, Leicester will need 2 scores, irrespective of what happens now. The question is whether they need to be worth 2 or 3. And at least one of them will need to be worth 3.
Sam Decker, take him to 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists.
He makes them both, and Rob Paternostro now will try and draw a play. He will undoubtedly advance the ball into the front court with only 15 seconds to go. It's one of them they could do with the 3, but London know they could do with the 3, and they've taken the 3 away all game. In some ways, you almost might be better trying to get to the rim and hoping you get 3 the old-fashioned way.
I was going to say, London Lions have taken away the 3 for the last 39 minutes. They've done a remarkable job of taking the Leicester Riders out of their usual offensive game. But you're right, Dan, there's going to be something here that Coach Paternostro is going to have to draw up for a relatively quick 3. Whether it goes down or not dictates what happens thereafter. But trading 2 for 2 is just not going to get it done now for the Riders.
Well, the home fans have been treated to quite a ball game here on the day after Boxing Day. And they've seen their team score 47 second half points, but they need another 6, and they need them without a reply. Well, everybody walking out onto court from Leicester's perspective can shoot the 3. Jackson to inbound. Loving setting the screen for McKenzie. Goes to Loving. Loving out to Whelan. Extra pass to Adekoya. McKenzie for 3. Doesn't go, and that will probably do that as Decker gets the rebound, and Leicester are probably better off not fouling. And that will do it. The 23-game unbeaten streak at the Morningside Arena has come to an end for the Leicester Riders. The London Lions have brought it to an end, beating them 75 points to 81.
And they were excellent, Dan, both ends of the floor. It was that humongous first quarter for the Lions which set the tone for the remainder of the game. 30-19. They got out. Not only did they put 30 points on the board, they held this Riders team to 19 in the first quarter. Limited them on their open shots. Nothing came easy for the Riders, but it was the Riders who turned the tide in the second half. but just weren't able to close that gap.
Well, you normally want your quarter scores to go up. London's went down 30-17, 18-16. But as you say, they had that double-figure lead at the end of the first quarter and were able to stretch it out to an even bigger advantage at halftime. And despite a valiant fight back by the Riders, it was never quite enough. Let's get some reaction with Mark on the baseline.
So I'm with Coach Paternoster, Rob. Pulsating, entertainment game, really close. Was that a game of two halves?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was the key here. They got up to a big lead. They shot the heck out of the ball in the first half. It's going to be tough to beat them when they shoot the ball like that from distance. I thought that was the big problem, the three ball in the first half. Second half, I thought, we knew they were down bodies a little bit, so they didn't have the depth. And I thought they wore down, and we really took it to them in the second half. It just kind of ran out of time. But the problem for us was too big of a lead in the first half.
Absolutely, but lots of good things you could take away from that game.
Yeah, I love the way we fought back, no question. I thought our defense in the second half was better. I thought first half it was a nightmare offense performance from us, so we missed a lot of good looks. Give them credit. I mean, they got the best defense in the league for a reason. But, I thought we left them, get out two ahead. Made a few more shots in the first half. Could have been even a little closer down the stretch.
Sets up the BBL Cup final nicely, and thanks for talking to us, and best of luck going forward, Rob.
Okay, thanks.
Well, they'll be disappointed. I mean, it's one of those things, say there's some positives to be taken, but he takes the defeats as a defeat. You know what I mean? He's not one to look for silver linings, but they did play pretty well in that second half to cut it back. It just was too much of a mountain for them to climb.
Yeah, and I think the positives he will take from this game is his team's mentality. I think you were down big after that first quarter. They didn't respond quickly, but they did in the second half, and I think that's really important when you're facing a London Lions team as talented as this. It's really quite easy to go in your shell and you end up losing by 20-something points, but that didn't happen today, so I think that will be the positives there for Rob Paternoster.
Well, looking back over the highlights here, and as you say, one of the things that Leicester, if they are to beat this team going forward, will have to do is they'll have to find some way of consistently knocking down the three. Rob Paternoster talked about they had some good looks. London took a lot of the good looks away, and Leicester 5 of 18, uncharacteristically low number for them from behind the arc.
Yeah, and I think London Lions did, a great job of distributions of offense as well. When you look at the, who contributed across the board, Josh Wood-Hibbert getting his start today against a former club, 12 points for him, 10 rebounds. He had a double-double, and that's without the supporting cast he had. Sam Decker, we commented on his, his ability to just turn a game on its head. Big first quarter from Sam Decker, and he was the closer. He was the guy that wanted the responsibility at the end of the game. 21 points, leading all scorers for him.
Well, it's a busy week in the British Basketball League. Is that fun time of year where arenas are packed and some good games in the house. And Ant Rowe is going to be in Plymouth for Bristol's visit tomorrow. Looking forward to that.
Southwest Derby down the road is big.
There we go. Newcastle playing Caledonia as well. Games every day. And then we've even got a couple of games on New Year's Day. Obviously, Surrey always playing New Year's Day, but Manchester taking on the Newcastle Eagles as well. Leicester back here on the 30th up against the Surrey Scorchers, and Surrey, Newcastle, two teams desperate to find a run and a win and to get a winning run going.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking now at the formation now of the league table, and those are two teams, Surrey Scorchers and Newcastle Eagles, are just clinging on to the rest of the pack, who are very clustered in the middle.
Well, make sure you check out all of those games on the BBL YouTube channel. But here in Leicester, the Riders have been beaten for the first time in 23 games. They've gone down 75-81. London Lions moving back to the top of the BBL Championship standings. For Ant Rowe, I'm Daniel Routledge. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again very soon. Goodbye.
What's in a name? It's legacy, it's history, it's respect. And this season, names become legend. This is passion, this is power, this is our culture. This is Newcastle, Bristol, Caledonia, Sheffield, Plymouth, London, Manchester, Surrey, Cheshire, Leicester. This is basketball. So know our passion, our power, our culture. Know our name.